Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Healing and Heals. It's me, psychic medium Daniel Monroe, and
Me, Mama Kori.
Mama Kori. Tonight, we are going to be talking about something that I don't know if the internet is ready for it. Many different things, but how the main character energy era is coming to an end.
Thank God.
So, for those of you who don't know what main character energy is, I think Kori and I have similar answers, but not at the same time. So, Kori, what is main character energy to you?
Well, I think it could be honestly, it could be a negative and a positive. Negative if you don't want to hear this person walk in a room and talk about themselves, or positive if they've got a lot of things to share.
Yeah.
So it depends on the personality of the person.
No, it's true. So, main character energy used to be something that we kind of like needed. Like, we needed that. Hey, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of healing. I'm going to take care of my trauma. I'm going to really put myself first. But what we're starting to witness right now is a collective spiritual exhaustion of it, because what ended up happening, or what has ended up happening, is people stay in that main character. I'm better than, I've done healing, and then the overused word nowadays, you're gaslighting me, blah, 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 like all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And people keep looking at their friends of, it's called in like TV shows that they're the supportive role. They're not the main role. And I actually remember hanging out with this one friend who was like, no, it's your turn to hold my jacket. And then to my partner was like, it's not even my jacket. And they're like, but I already took a turn wearing it into this club. And then Jared is like, and then she was like, but it's my birthday, so carry it. And then Jared's like, okay, just this one time. And then later on throughout the night, she would just be like, it's still your turn. And he's like, it's not my turn. Like, it's not. And she would treat him like a supportive role. And so some people do that. Like, some people are in this, and you try to call them out, and it's like, no, that's not what happened. Now you're gaslighting me. You're this, you're that. And in all reality, like, you're not realizing that, you probably had to go into that mentality for healing, or you had to go into that mentality for the moment, but to take a pause to really realize that, other people aren't supportive roles in your life.
No, it's not a TV show, Karen.
Yeah. And if your name...
Do you think that this, because when I think of this and the main character and kind of sometimes this type of person stepping out of reality, don't you think that's kind of like a TikTok thing?
Yeah, and that's
like
what I
maybe
mean.
It originated there. Or...
It's like an online thing, like main character. What was so funny is this other friend was like, there's so-and-so again being main character. And like, it was like loud. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, this is wild. Because listen, some of y'all are healing, and some of y'all are rebranding your trauma. Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, you're no longer healing, you're rebranding your trauma, and you're just living in this moment of me. So, and a lot of people are spiritually waking up, and like, of course, I noticed that like certain family members, like the more you level up and the more that you're healing, the more that you're growing, like, you're no longer at that same vibration that other people are. And you'll end up going like, why do I even hang out with you? Why am I around you? Because for years, people have been operating from survival mode and ego validation and comparison and emotional performance and constant stimulation. And eventually the soul gets tired. Like, I just, had this one friendship that it's like, I don't have it in me right now. Like, I just became a dad. I have different business endeavors, like the Daniel Monroe Spirit Center, if you're ever in Vancouver, Washington. On Grand Boulevard. Disclaimer. It's about me right now, Kori. But main character energy.
I'll be a supporting character.
Yeah. What's so funny is like our relationship, we actually switch. Have you ever noticed that? It depends on the surrounding. We'll get to that in a second. But
Wait, wait a second. This
Story
is my
time.
favorite part. We'll be talking and we'll go, okay, now it's about me.
Now it's about me. And I'm like, okay, back to
My
me.
turn.
Or
Back
we'll
to
be
me.
like, well, not to make this about me, but blah, 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 blah. That's actually because Kori and I are aware of it. Like we have big personalities and we've been through a lot of crap. Yeah, I'm trying not to cuss tonight since, I got in trouble last time.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Ryan. Just joking. But it's true. There's so much collective awakening that's happening, and nervous system burnout, and emotional overstimulation, and soul misalignment that people are craving authenticity right now. It's true. How many people are you hearing that, like, oh, I'm no longer on social media, I'm no longer on this?
I'm seeing more and more of that.
Yeah. And it's because people are just becoming overstimulated. And when you have this wow, 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 pow, 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 it's all about me, hold my bag, hold my jacket, because it's your turn to carry my jacket. It's a lot. And some people are like, hey, but what about checking on me? But before we fully like drag the internet tonight and blame it on social media, let's define what main character energy truly is. And again, there was an era, there was a moment that we needed that. We needed romanticizing your life. We needed that gaining confidence and choosing yourself and becoming empowered and stepping into your self worth. But honestly, a lot of people needed that then, but we don't need that now. We need true connection. We need authenticity. We need vulnerability. We need support.
Well,
we need to feel seen and heard.
If you've done all of that, you don't need to announce it.
Yeah. And when you have to dive into that, like, let's be real. We've had, there's moments where, and I teach this in mediumship, like when you are on stage, you do have to chime into that energy of ego because you might be tested. You might have a, naysayer in the audience. And when I say ego, I don't mean it in like a mean or derogatory way. I mean it in you might actually have to stand in your main character energy and have that confidence and have that empowerment moment, especially again, when you're on stage. Something that Kori has talked about, and if you don't mind sharing, but I didn't realize that I did it from going from Daniel to Daniel Monroe. Kori sees that switch in it, and it is me having to fully be confident in it.
Right, right. And because I'm a co-main character, what am I? A co-character?
You're
how is that?
co-character,
Co-character?
co-pilot.
Co-pilot.
Or actually, no, let's be real. Kori calls herself the hand of the queen. Clearly, I'm the queen.
I do see it, and I see the cues, and and then I see it when people are pushing the buttons, and I see the shutdown.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you don't want to see me see a shutdown because I turn into Mama Bear very quickly.
It just happened. Like right before jumping on this, it just happened.
I will switch from being happy-go-lucky to Mama Bears very quickly.
Yeah. But we do, again, we need that. And
That's my main character.
That's Kori's main character energy. She can go from, hand of the queen and fun and we're having a good vibe to being like, I have to remove, my soul son out of this situation or whatever. And that's what she goes into. Because again, there are certain roles that people play. But here's the thing though, Kori is aware of like the main character stepping into that to kind of take charge, not let me go into needing constant attention, always centering myself, emotional self-obsession, treating people like supporting characters, the validation addiction, the curated authenticity, the constantly needing to be seen, right? Like, for example, my twins' birth mom is on social media, will interact with her kid, or when, she is around my boys, which is very far and in between, and she'll snap a picture, create a video, and then go into straight editing it to post it on TikTok and use hashtags, abuse and this and that, and, all these trigger, hashtags just to get validation from the outside world, from people on social media. And you can usually tell someone is stuck in an unhealthy main character like that when everything becomes about perception instead of connection. Like,
Mhm.
for example, when we were having the tough conversation about like, hey, clearly you're struggling with the boys, you just gave birth, you're not really present and having these emotional connection with the twins. Instead of pausing for a minute, you know what she did? She started calling people and going, do I look like a bad mom? Can you tell that I'm struggling? That's the
Mhm.
only two questions that she was asking her
Yeah.
friends. She only cared how she was perceived. She
Mhm.
only cared about how she looked. And that was such a huge, like, wasn't the conversation around, do you think like this would be the best choice for the twins? Do you think that they would have a happier, healthier life? Like, there was not even a single question around them. It was all about how she was
Validation.
perceived. And that's an unhealthy main character energy.
But then, and I have to say this on her behalf a little bit. Silently, she can be very mature. Like, I was there during the adoption process and at the courthouse and everything. She wrote this most beautiful letter
Yeah.
and the most beautiful video about how, thank you for picking up the pieces, and
This is the
thank you.
best decision I can give to
Yeah.
them.
And it was quietly done, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is a beautiful side of her.
Right.
And then, back to the, like you said, the main character energy going to this person for validation, and that
Well,
person,
and it's good that you're
and
bringing
that
that.
spoke volumes up for her
Yeah, like
at
that
that time.
moment was beautiful. It was something she
Mhm.
created, just for, the twins and myself and my partners. But that goes into like the next part of this is some people truly are addicted to that main character energy persona
Mhm.
because that's all they know. That's all they know how to get validation, and that's all they know how to feel good about themselves is by having and setting the tone that they're either. But here's the other truth, and I'm going to say this because it goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. It's also sometimes victim mentality.
Mhm.
And that's what people are truly getting over. Like, that's what people don't want to deal with anymore. And I don't blame them. I don't want to deal with it either.
Have you ever, well, I know you have, but so have I. The there are people that are on social media and they live their life through social media. I
Right.
mean, like, live it. They take all their garbage and dump it out on social media. And like, I just met the love of my life. I love this person. We're gonna have a house and this and that. And you're like, oh, good. I'll just pull a name out of the air. Oh, great for Mary,
Right.
And then the next thing you know, he's a louse, he's a beater, he's a this and that. And then next week, he loves me. It was just a misunderstanding. And this goes on. And then you go through the restraining order and the this and the that. And then in 3 more weeks, here comes another guy. Same story. And I'm going to tell you, I am guilty of getting the popcorn and
Getting
going,
the
here it
popcorn.
comes. Stage one, stage two. And let me tell you, I have followed some really, really tragic stories. They're like telenovelas.
Well, you do like watching, what is that, 90 Day Fiance?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's the same, yeah?
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Or what about this one? That we won't say names, but they just met somebody, right?
Mhm.
And Daniel ends up calling you, going, hey, is this person okay? How long were they together? I just saw this video on social media and they're like sobbing. And you're just like, they just met a week ago. That like living it out and like putting it on social media. And again, here's the thing. And this is what like I had to learn because, I grew up in a very mixed family. And I grew up in, I'm not going to lie, this is something that Spirit has taught me during readings. Sometimes the loudest person in the room
It's the most insecure.
is the one that felt like they were never heard.
Mhm.
And looking back, so growing up, I was loud. I was that dramatic kid. I was that, screaming and yelling and this and that. And I remember going to my room and like punching the walls like my mom would come back in, even though, she was just going to continue to spank me or whatever. I would just do it just to get attention, because sometimes that was the only attention that I would get from my mom, or like the one-on-one time. And so when I started therapy and I started healing and I started going through, life lessons and working with spirit and growing up, I realized that I was, that person, I was that family member. And then I took a step back, and then I would see my other siblings and stuff. Then I don't talk to them for, very good reasons. And I had to be like, wow, like this person is a hurt person. It's an insecure person. And so I had to learn that. And I had to grow from that. And so now, like, if you notice, I'm very like even in this situation, I'm very monitored, like, because once I hit that level, kind of like with you, and get into that main character, like, screw off type vibe, it's a lot for me to get there, and it's hard for me to come back from. And that's why I let a lot of like BS go.
No, and I was the opposite. I was the quiet one. But after years and years, you know how your cousins or your very best friends, when
Or
you're
worst
young.
enemy.
Well, my cousins were my best friends. I loved my cousins, but we just grew around each other and grew
Yeah.
up and grew away. And then my one cousin had pointed out to me, she goes, "You know what I remember about you the most is you were so shy and so quiet until somebody was mean to somebody else, and then you would stick up for them." She goes, "That's the only time I heard you talk."
Yeah. And that was you stepping into that main character energy for that moment.
Yeah.
And we want to know, like, in the comments, first off, say hello. Thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're from. But let us know, do you feel like you're the main character energy, honey? Because there's nothing wrong with that. But do you feel like you have had a lot of main character energy people in your life?
There's that at work. You got the one person.
Not here. I'm just
No,
joking.
no,
Take it back.
I'm a co. But I've worked in places where there was a lot of different personalities, and there's always that one person that'll come in like they own the place. And if there's not if it's boring, they'll start shit.
Yeah.
They'll start some kind of drama somewhere somehow. And
We should start doing that.
between us.
We would only say it to each other too.
Right.
I'd be like, Kori, did you hear what Kori said about me today?
Yeah, did you hear that?
Oh my gosh. But here's the thing. Spirit lives in presence. So when you are living that main character energy, honey, and you're doing it for the gram and then this. Now, don't get me wrong. Daniel Monroe obviously is on social media. I mean, we're streaming on like 4 different platforms right now. However, we have an amazing producer in the background, Ryan, how to implement hiring somebody so it would take that workload off of me. So that way this is my job. That's the thing. And Kori knows this. Like right before jumping on here, I was spending time with my babies. Yeah. Like that is, and Kori has seen, like, once I'm off of this, I'm done. I go home, I take off the makeup. Like I try to film and get everything done before my boys come back from like daycare, or when I'm home on the weekends. I'm here working at the Spirit Center, again, off of 805 Grand Boulevard. But guess who's here with me? My twins. And and if there's not a person I'm talking to, I'm literally in their little playpen thingy with them, or they're running around, or we're going outside and we're going for walks and we're in the sunshine. Like yes, I took a photo of it, but that was like the Happy Memorial Day. But there's so many other moments that I didn't even post. Like I have this cute video that Kori hasn't even seen yet of my boys playing peekaboo with each other in their own cribs. And like, I recorded it and I wasn't like, let me just go and, post it on the gram. I literally have opened it and watched it like 77 times, but that's because that's in the moment. That's the presence. That's the joy. That's, sacred to me. And spirit speaks in stillness, and the internet trains people to fear that, quiet, that moment. And people right now are craving that downtime, and we're craving that sacredness that now we're obviously going online to look for it, and you're listening to the Healing and Heals, podcast. But it's true. Like conversations are starting to shift, and people are starting to go like, why are you making this about you? And people are realizing that the main character energies that we're having in our life, it's the inability to emotionally hold space. Have you started noticing that, Kori? Like,
Yeah.
you're just like,
I'm looking at you here and I keep going like this.
yeah, you could just look at me through the monitor. You're
Yeah.
fine. Kori's having a new device and she's figuring it out. But it's the inability to emotionally hold space in transactional friendship. Like people are having transactional friendships where, well, what am I? For example, if you know, you know. And if this irritates you, then that's your own internal processing. A certain individual is, circling around using, my hairdresser and hanging out with my friend and blah, blah, blah. But yet I walked into a space yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. And I, honest to God, and Ryan as my witness, and Ryan, I haven't even told you this, I pre-scheduled this topic literally just yesterday. And I walked in, and this main character energy, persona was actually sitting in the hair salon because I had to go in and get some products and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't realize it was this individual. If not, I would have said hi. And then my hairdresser, took me in the back to get the products and we were chit chatting. She was like, help me with my phone. I was like, what? And we were like chit chatting. And then she goes, oh, so and so is here. And I was like, oh, how come like this individual didn't say hi? And it just like made me think for a moment, like, oh, they want me to approach them and be like, hi, how have you been? Blah, blah, blah. How are you? And I honestly almost went out there and was like, oh, let me go say hi. And then I was like, no, break time. I'm not going to go out there and feed into that main character energy. Isn't that wild, Ryan? That I literally scheduled this topic as I was driving into the salon. Mm-hmm. And it was just so interesting and, divine timing. But again, let us know in the comments, like, we truly are getting over that emotional, like, feed me emotionally, feed me validation, feed me, attention. And I'm in this moment, and Kori, I think you're also, we've had like talks about this of, you know what? If they show up, they show up. And Kori actually taught me that you don't have to completely cut them out, but if they show up, then they show up. But if they don't, you don't have to chase them. And I have, a couple of people on my roster where it's, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to, if you can't even reach out and say happy birthday or show up in really big, grand opening moments or like whatever, like I'm not going to chase you. Like you're your own main character in your life right now. And that's okay with you. But I'm not going to be a supporting role and I'm not going to be a witness to certain things. And that's just the reality because people are becoming obsessed with how they are perceived. They're needing that reaction. They're wanting acknowledgement. They're posting for responses. And some people are they feel like they need to be witnessed. And some people don't feel real unless other people are witnessing them.
Yeah. Well, and I think that when you quit feeding that, they quit coming around. Yeah. Kind of like a bird feeder. You quit putting seed in it and they quit coming in. Well, I had a experience with a person like that.
Just recent.
And disappeared for quite a while and stuff like that. All of a sudden, just showed back up. And I had to take a deep breath and go, okay.
Strap in, sister.
Yeah, after hearing, this, and this, I'm like, okay, so in 3 years, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's the same hamster wheel, but I haven't paid for that subscription.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm not on, it's not my show.
No. And you're not the supporting character.
I'm not the supporting character.
You might be the director in the background going, hey, I'm here. Not the director, because they call the shots, but you know what I mean.
No, I mean, I don't know what I would call it. I guess a guest star. I'll guest star it. I'll come, hey, because there was really great memories.
Right.
Wonderful friendship, wonderful memories. But time marches on and things change.
Right. And then you realize like this is exhausting.
Well, yeah, when you have excuse me, when you have a friend or a family member or something, and the story starts and it's the same thing and they won't change and they're asking for advice but they won't change. When the conversation starts and you're like this, it's time to get out for a little while. Time to just step aside. Because a lot of times it just they want you to be they want to be the main character.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fine if it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, and here's what like spirit has taught me throughout the years is the ego wants attention, but the soul just wants connection. And I have a lot of clients that are like, I didn't realize that my ex was so negative and that's why now they're my ex. Or I didn't realize that this person was only keeping me around for them. And me and spirit, you know, during a reading are like, girl, just now, like you're just now seeing that. But that soul needed to go through that because now that person can go into her positive main character energy, going, you know what, I know my worth and I'm not going to be someone's supporting role. I'm going to be their co-star. I'm going to be, you know, it's a 50-50. And I think that's what we are, Kori. Like we're co-stars. We're not.
Nobody has top billing. I think you have top billing.
Top what?
Billing, you know, like in a movie.
Oh, I was like, because I
What
pay.
bills?
I was like, because I pay the bills here. Like, duh.
No, you know, like when they go into
The
negotiations for a
credits.
movie,
Yeah.
you know, they'll be like, okay, I'll do the movie, but I'm top billing.
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
name is on top.
And then yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
nobody comes to, you know, cocktails of spirit for me,
Well,
but they're happy to see me
I
when
was
they
gonna
get
say,
there.
but they're like, there's Mama Kori, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So it's kind of like co-star,
Co-star. I'm co-star.
Yeah, yeah. Like my name might be on the building, but they know you. I mean, how many times do people, you know, stop you? You're Mama
Right.
Kori.
I got stopped at Safeway one time and
And the
hugged.
well, and then you were at the Dollar Tree and you didn't realize this. Then I had a client like a reading like a month later, and they were like, "I saw Mama Kori at the Dollar Tree." But here's the thing: the ego will ask for, "Do people see me?"
Mhm.
The soul will ask, "Do I truly see myself?" And that's what people, even if you feel like you're not the main character energy, ask yourself that. Do I feel like I need people to see me? Or do I truly see myself? Do I truly see who I am? Do I see my value? Do I see my worth? Because your intuition gets quieter the more addicted you become to outside validation. Because what happens is you start to lose that inner voice, that higher frequency when you are looking at other people to give that to you. So you have to be aware of if your intuition, your gut instinct is starting to fade away, chances are you have put your eggs in someone else's basket or you're waiting to put your eggs in someone else's basket. So you really do have to be mindful of what it is you're feeling internally. Or if you're that supporting role in like another main character's, you know, energy's life, you have to start realizing like, are they oversharing their life online? Are they oversharing their drama without even pausing and asking me how I am? Do they always have to be doing something and it has to be a group and it has to be this whole big show? Because chances are they're lonely.
Mhm.
And then are they looking at how many followers they have, how many likes they're getting, how like all this stuff. And again, shout out to Ryan who goes and like posts our, you know, reels and stuff for me because I don't even know that he's posting. I'm like, oh, apparently this went up today. Awesome. And I do know that he's doing it. Obviously, he works his booty off, but I am just so glad that I've been able to kind of delegate. And again, that comes with my job. Like I don't sit here and be like, do it again, do it again, do it for the gram. And then I film it and then I walk away. Like I'll film my babies because I'm proud of my babies. And then they'll sit on my phone for a while until I'm scrolling through like, oh my God, we should share this. So it really is interesting how
I'm that way with my dogs.
you post your dogs every morning.
I know I don't. I post my garden in the morning.
No, there no, there is that beautiful like
Yeah.
No, Kori, here's the thing. Kori, story time. Kori says that she's not tech savvy. And then I open up Instagram and I see that she has like a dramatic song in the background and her dog's in slow mo and there's her fire pit going. And I was like, I don't even know how to do all that.
I have one trick.
She's over here slicing and dicing her videos. But here's a thing. I want you guys grab a pencil, grab a pen, but a lot of people are highly visible but deeply unseen at the same time. Those two statements can be true. They might have all these social media likes and this and that and blah blah blah, but in reality, they're not seen, they're not heard, they're not, validated. And those aren't the same things. Being highly seen but deeply unseen at the same time. I'd rather be deeply seen. And I would say that all the time. And I actually learned that from, the great, amazing singer Adele. They asked her during an interview, like, how do you feel about, certain people not liking your music or this or that, which is crazy that people wouldn't like Adele's music. But she said, I would rather have 5 people fully understand my music instead of 5 million not get it. And I thought that was the most beautiful analogy. Like, I'd rather have 5 people that I can come in contact with. And I've done events with the Michael Kors store and, the Keegan's Theater and the Alberta Rose Theater and all these like different, big venues. And I worked with Lisa Williams and James Van Prague. And I've been very fortunate to be able to do those things in my career. And I remember meeting a metaphysical shop and approaching them and saying, hey, I want to teach a class here. And they were like, but you've done all these big things and blah, blah, blah. We can only hold like 10, 15 people here. And I was like, well, that's 10, 15 people that are probably new to me that I get to interact with and I get to help change their life through, mediumship and teaching and blah, blah, blah. And I truly mean that. Like, if it's just 10 people that I get to come in contact with, that's 10 more people out in the world that I was able to help. And I could have been like, oh, well, you know what? Main character energy. They need to pay me this premium fee and blah, blah. No, we kept it like $30 because I was like, what do you normally charge for workshops? All right, let's do that. Because again, I don't need that validation. I don't need that. Oh, look at me. I only work with this, this, and this. Like, honey, I started. First off, I grew up on a farm. And second off, like I started in a metaphysical shop having to pay an hourly rate. And then they threw me out in front of, a group of people that I had no idea what I was doing. And I was doing free readings out of my apartment for, crystals. Like people literally used to pay me in crystals for a reading. But unfortunately, I can't go to the, electric company and pay in hugs and some crystals I got. But
yeah, that doesn't work.
I wish. Wouldn't that be great? We do a lot of hugs though. But it's true. Like, you don't need to have other people validate you. You don't need to have this huge entitlement. And that's what's wild. And I know, like, if I approach like a radio show program or another podcast or this or that, their number one response is, how many likes do you have? How many followers do you have? Oh, you don't have this certain amount. Well, we're not going to team up with you. And I think that's so wild that even certain platforms have that mindset. And like, even when I got to work with Ryan, like Ryan was working with some pretty big names and is working with pretty big names. And I was just like, you'd work with little old me? And in reality, like Ryan truly, shout out to Ryan, we love you so much. Just does it and gives me like the best advice on so many different aspects. And that's who you want to align yourself with. You don't want to align yourself with people who are just like me. You don't do this. Like, I remember working with this one celebrity person, and I won't say names. And I remember going, hey, this person reached out, blah, blah, blah. They want you to come on their podcast. And their response was just like, oh, I'll do a charity podcast. And I was like, because they didn't have a certain amount of like followers. Like, that's wild. Like, to this day, like, I honestly thought I was doing a podcast interview yesterday, and I was like, oh no. And I had to message her because I was like, it's Memorial Day weekend. Like, it's Memorial Day. My twins are home. I don't have daycare right now. I thought I was going to be able to do it. One of them's teething and he's a little monster. And she was like, honey, we're not until like June 1st or 15th or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. Not one time when she approached me was I like, how many people do you have following you? How many do you have this? How many do you have that? Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. Hey, one person is, someone new, and it's an hour of my time, and I'm going to go pull cards and have fun with her. Like, I don't care.
You never know who that one person you're helping is.
Yeah. And you never know how much they need it.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's just farmer mentality, Kori. I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
You scratch my donkey, I'll scratch yours.
Oh my God. We have a horrible donkey story, but we're not going to get into that. I'm going to get really flagged on TikTok. But here's the thing that people cannot handle not being chosen. When you have those people having that little freak out, it's because they have rejection. They, again, need that validation, or they have that comparison culture. And main character energy becomes toxic when your worth depends on being picked, when it depends on being praised, or when it depends on being prioritized. That's when you know, like, hey, this is not okay. Because your soul does not need an audience to be worthy. Your soul needs love, self-love, compassion. Something that I learned from this amazing, Kori and I have different opinions on her, is an amazing therapist woman named Ayana Vincent. And I love her so much. I have her books. I'm literally looking at like 5 of them right now. And one of her analogies was she, dated this person, and he made her feel like she could fly. And he made her feel like, without him, she wasn't able to fly. But in reality, she was always capable of feeling that way. She was always able to tap into that energy. She didn't need this individual. But the other analogy that she has that I think is so beautiful, and I've literally like lived my life by this analogy, is you want to approach relationships, friendships, or even evaluate, your parents' relationship with you and stuff, as think of it like a dinner table. And when you approach that dinner table, and both of you, or both relationships, or whoever this person is that you're thinking of, when both of you are approaching the dinner table, is there a mutual, like, hey, I'm looking at you to give me X, Y, and Z, and you're looking at me to give you X, Y, and Z? Because then chances are that relationship isn't going to work out. But if both of you approach the dinner table and you go, hey, I have enough food and fruit and dessert to bring to this table to share, and you have enough within you, food, fruit, like whatever, to share as well, chances are that's going to work out. But when you're sitting across that dinner table and you're looking at that other person going, what do you have that I don't have? And vice versa. And you keep looking at the other person to fulfill certain things within you that you don't have, that one, relationship isn't going to work. And 2, it's not fair to that other person. And it's not fair to you to put all that pressure and weight into a relationship. So when you evaluate this, main character people in your life and these relationships, ask yourself, like, do they have enough within them that they're able to share? And do I have enough within me that I'm ready to share? Because chances are, if you're not ready to share, honey, you're not ready for that relationship. Or you still need to have that main character energy in a healthy way to heal and to grow. But if you're over there with the main character energy at the end of the table, run, honey, because chances are you're going to run out of all that food that you're ready to give to that other. And I've seen it. I've seen it in readings. I've seen it throughout the years. I've seen it in relationships, to where you are ready to approach that dinner table and you're good to go. And that other person is just taking and taking and taking and taking and taking, because they're in that main character, feed me, feed me, feed me, focus on me.
And they can be alluring when they're doing it.
Yeah. And they can be cute
at first.
But the chances are, like, it's going to burn you out, and it's going to just deplenish you to where you're never going to want to go to another dinner table at all. Yeah. So that's my little analogy for the night. Isn't that beautiful?
No, it's true. And just to be clear on her.
No, she's my friend in my head.
No. She gives great advice.
She does.
But I don't think
her delivery is aggressive.
I don't think that great advice needs to be served by yelling.
Well, I just heard out there.
No, that wasn't advice. That was
Mama Kori.
Yeah, that was not advice. That was you're getting out. That was, I don't know what you would call that, a demand. But when in certain situations I've watched, because at first I was like, she's got a lot of great advice, and I believe in being strong and all that. But when she would get in people's face when
Yeah,
they're
that was a
breaking,
lot.
that was too much. That was unkind, and I think she did it honestly for the ratings.
I don't think
I do.
so.
I 100% do.
I think that's just
100%.
who she is.
No, I've seen her broken after her show ended.
I was gonna say, like, she
I
went through
seen
how
her on
many
that interview
divorces,
where
though?
she was like destitute afterwards.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but I love her. I do love her. I love her so much. Ayana Vincent, I love
If
you.
she came by and visited, I wouldn't be like, I hate you. I would just, I would listen to her
Yeah,
because she's a very smart woman. She's a fighter. She's a struggler. She just needed to be a little kinder with her delivery,
yeah,
is what I'm saying.
yeah. But here's the thing. If you're listening tonight thinking, oh my gosh, I've done some of these things, it's okay. Welcome to being human. Like you're
Mhm.
gonna go through your own main character era in your life, but hopefully again, pause and ask yourself, like, is this becoming unhealthy? Is this becoming too much? Because everybody has an ego, and that's okay. Sometimes we go through moments of needing validation, and social media conditions us to look for those things and have those things. But in reality, we have to pause and we have to check in and we have to self evaluate.
Yeah. And because I watch 90 Day Fiance, that's my guilty pleasure. I watch people just do stupid stuff for attention. Jasmine. She's my least favorite person on that whole series. Um, because she does crazy stuff just for attention, and she's very hurtful.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. For me, you can have all that main character. Sometimes it's very entertaining, but when you start becoming hurtful, that's when it's time to stop.
Yeah.
And with sometimes with that energy and that type of personality, they walk on people like hold my purse and you're lucky to do it. And I don't care if I put you in harm's way because this is what I want. And um, that's when it's not okay,
Yeah.
you know, like going to that one place and it was
Yeah.
very unsafe and stuff like that. That's not cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull some cards. Mama Corey's gonna go first because actually Jared just texted me, so I have to check on the twins right quick. But I'm gonna be right back, and Mama Corey's gonna pull some cards for all of you.
Let me see here. I feel like I'm the babysitter that got left alone. So the first card I pull, of course, is wisdom. And I look at this, and if you look in here, I always look at the pictures, and it tells a better story. And you can see with information and wisdom, you can fly. And look at all this energy, this beautiful energy behind her. So if you have been searching for, should I do things? Should I look into it? Should I go back to school? Wisdom. Yes, always, always search for knowledge. So that's one. Let's see here. I can't, I'm not able to see comments, or I would direct them to whoever they need, whichever person asked for a card. I would be more than happy to. But what I'm looking at, I'm not, I'm not the main energy here. I'm the co energy with the co TV or the co screen here. Okay. Here's another one. Joy. Look at how beautiful that card is. What does it say? It says, joy and ecstasy flows through me wildly and freely. And when you look at the inside of this card, this heart is so opened up and ready to accept it. So somebody out there is ready to accept joy. It's knocking at your door. Open it up and take it in because it's there and it's waiting for you. Do a little shuffle, a little knock through them. Hi, Gabby. Oh, I can see somebody. Yay. This is another wonderful card. I have a great deck. Radiance. Look at how beautiful that is. Let's see. It says, "I'm radiant, reflection of God's light." When you look at it inside of this card, I mean, I look at it this way. When you stand still enough, even where there's storms, if your heart is pure, your light will shine. A pure heart will always shine through. That is beautiful, just like a lighthouse. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Abundance. Yay. Who doesn't love abundance? And it's really funny. Like a lot of times people with abundance always think it's money. Like is abundance of money, abundance of money. And I've heard people say, I'm gonna, meditate for abundance. Abundance could be love. It could be your whole family coming around. It could be so many other things. It's not just money. Like you see all the fruit in the basket. It could just be that, let me just read it. All of my needs are met above and beyond my greatest expectations. And that's abundance, more than just money. Actually, that part drives me crazy when people they'll
Oh,
like
abundance
pray.
of
I just
just
want,
money.
and it's just money. But you know what?
There's
The
abundance of
gift,
love, happiness, friends.
right.
Again, an abundance of less main character people. But anyways, thank you for pulling cards. The baby's fine. He just had a question about like the teething medicine,
Aw.
Tylenol and going back and forth. He just didn't know what time he had his last dosage, so I had to call daycare. So I was like, don't give him anything. Hold on. Hello, you look so cute in a hat. Well, thank you. Get used to a hat, darling, because it's going to be around for a minute. Hi, Gabby, my love. But yeah, so tonight we're talking about main character energy. Mama Kori just pulled some cards, and I am back. But
I felt like the babysitter. Like I'm finally alone.
yeah,
I didn't know what to do.
See, this is why we're co-stars, honey.
Well, I did. I'm not the main energy, but
Yeah.
we had to do with what we had.
Yeah. Because, and I'm going to pull some cards here in a moment too. And thank you, Rhiannon, my love. Make sure you guys come on in, say hello, where you're from. But confidence says, I know my worth. Ego says, everybody else needs to know it too.
Mm.
And there's been times where Kori's even been like, yeah, Daniel has done X, Y, and Z and this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, have I? Oh, I forgot about that. Or what is it? Kori's always like, why are you being so modest? And I'm like, I don't know. But here's the thing.
This is the one thing that I do say, and I say this to you and Candy a lot. I wish you can see what I see.
Yeah.
I wish you could see through my eyes.
Yeah.
And if I think if more people looked at it that way, like, how do I look through that person's, somebody
Point
I
of view.
respect or care about or something? Because if you could see through my eyes, you would see yourself in a different way.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm always worried like, oh, I didn't read enough people. I didn't do it good enough. Or I didn't this. I didn't do that. But in reality, like Kori will be like, honey, if you could see what I saw tonight or what I see every day, or even when I'm having like a really crappy day, I'll be like, Kori, I just want to lay in bed. And she's like, well, you earned it. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And she's like, what do you mean? You've done this, this, this. But here's the thing. Some people aren't the main character. All right. And if they're like, I'm just the main character, I have trauma, I have this, honey, they're just loud. They're not the main character. They're just loud. And that's the thing. And again, social media has trained us to be the main character and pick up the phone and this and that, and then flip this switch. And then when you're done, go back to just being like, screw off. But there's a difference between sharing your life and living for an audience. And that's what I try to like balance. And like I said, like there's certain videos and stuff that I have with my boys that I'm just like, I'm not ready to post that. Like I'm still replaying it within my family.
You know what I just thought about?
What?
Remember the first time we did a Facebook Live, and I had never done one
at the office in downtown Vancouver. I think about it actually a lot.
And laugh.
Yeah, I think about that moment a lot. A
I
lot.
couldn't talk.
We were in M100 in downtown Vancouver, and you just said, "Ah!"
That's all I did was laugh.
And now look at us.
And that's how I was like in school when I'd have to stand up and give like an oral
Yeah.
report, I would just start laughing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the words out.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
That's so funny. And look, now we have a
Now
podcast.
I was left
Mama
alone.
Kori did great as the babysitter. Thank you, Julie.
I did kind of laugh a little bit out of nervous.
She got giggles. But some people have stopped living and people have started performing. And that's the thing that I wanted to focus on tonight is, are you living or are you performing?
Right.
We went from are you living or are you surviving to nowadays with social media, look at the light flicker, beautiful validation. But instead of like, are you living or are you surviving? It's, are you living or are you performing? And Kori, when we go on vacation, how many times do we actually forget to post? We'll take pictures. We'll have this. There's actually a really funny picture of Kori like putting her hands on this. What was she? You know, the street entertainers. And they were like all naughty police. They were, strippers. But they were dressed up and like this
in
naughty
Vegas, where the street performers.
And there's this like funny picture of Kori like grabbing her like, ass cheek and blah, blah, blah. And like I took these photos and like by the time we go home, we go through. Kori actually made a photo book and put like a bunch of things together because we're so in the moment and we're laughing from morning until night and sometimes even past that. I have to go look for you in the casinos, but we don't.
Remember that time you found me in the casino?
Yes, and I was like, Kori, it's 3 a.m. You need to come to bed. I can't worry about you.
What was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory game? I had a whole audience. It was fun. I had so much fun.
Kori was like, my kids are here.
I gotta go.
And we're like, come on, time for bed. I need to go to sleep and not have to worry about you. She's like, I'm fine. Bye. Bye, my friends. It was so funny. But the thing is that
Wait, I have to ask you. Remember we were just talking about the pictures and stuff? Your favorite picture. Which one was it?
Of Stephanie blurred in the background?
No. Remember
that did pop up. We were doing a show and there was a photo that popped up in memories. I love my Google photo memories that pop up. And we had the RV, the SUV's like sunroof open, moonroof. And we weren't even driving. We were parked, but the wind was going so hard. It bypassed the top of the car and it started sucking up Kori's hair and it was like twirling. And I was like, oh my gosh, we were laughing so hard. That's one of my favorite photos. Yeah. How I miss traveling doing shows. But we'll get back to it, I promise. But no, what I wanted to say was we don't live for performing, even though I am like a performer and I do mediumship and I do social media and I go on stage, but
that's your job, but you're not.
That's my job. And I live in the moment and we live when we travel and we do all this. We're like, oh, we forgot to post. Remember, Stephanie would get on us about like, Daniel, go sit in that corner and grab a notebook and a pen. I'm like, why? But that's the thing though, is energy is sacred. Attention is energy. Focus is energy. And people don't realize how spiritually draining it is to constantly expose yourself to thousands of energies online every single day. It's true. Like there's times where I'm like, I don't want to do a Facebook Live. I don't want to do an Instagram Live. I don't want to have to comment. I don't want to do this. And I get it. But people cleanse their homes spiritually, but never cleanse the energy they consume online. And I had to honestly start unfollowing like certain, influencers and TikTokers and whatever the case may be. And like Kori says all the time, unsubscribing. Because again, people, you don't realize by the things that you want. Like there's so much, cancel. What is it? Cancel. People want to cancel this person. Cancel culture. And in reality, like, I don't want to go onto social media for negativity or listen to what happened to me and, they're crying and it's this main character energy because they realize that I actually watched this social media, like this is how you get more views. And it's even when you're selling something, like you have to identify the problem with the other person and you have to identify this and then you have to give them the solution. You have to listen. It's like, all of those things are exhausting. Whatever happened to like, hey, look at my new, spiritual metaphysical shop that I opened. Please come and support. Like whatever happened to that? Now I got to create trauma. Like, hey, you don't have this, you don't have that, and I have it for you. And it's like, again, that main character, like I'm the main character and I'm the hero in your scenario. And it's like whatever happened to just supporting and loving on each other and like check out check out this cool little crystal I got and these cool classes I teach. And again, it's 805 Grand Boulevard, Vancouver, Washington. But like whatever happened to that? Like my friend Gabby, hi Gabby, she opened her own uh med spa over here in Vancouver over by the
I can't
mall.
wait to
And I
go
literally
there.
have been talking about it how much, Kori. I'm like, I love her
I love
and
her energy.
I love her energy. She's posting rooms for rent. And I'm like, hey, send me the link. And I'm sending it to like my estheticians that I know. Like she's not sitting here going, Daniel, here's a situation. Here's a blah, blah, blah. Here's a problem. And I'm gonna fix it. And you need to tell your people. Like,
Oh, she's so sweet.
she literally comes in and she's like, do you guys have time for a card reading? I just got off work. I'm in scrubs. I'm like, girl, we love you. Come on in. And her address is okay. I'm just joking. I don't know. If I know her address, I would give it to you guys. But go and check out Gabby. But we love you, Gabby. But no, it's true. Like, whatever happened to just supporting and not needing to be that main character energy in every scenario? But that's the thing. Like, social media has taught us to like tap into that main character, that hero mentality. Julie says so very true. But it's wild.
Yeah, I silently unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Like I have actually two people recently that every morning they have like this whole list of negative things, and I like these people individually.
Mhm.
So I do a soft unsubscribe. So I go in and just like silence them for 30 days. Hopefully in 30 days they'll pop back up and
Yeah.
they'll be a little more positive.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hurt their feelings, and I don't want them to see that we're unfriended.
Yeah.
So I do a soft push off to the side.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can create boundaries. All right.
Yeah.
Because not every breakdown needs a ring light. Okay. And not every like, hey, I'm taking a break from you needs to be you don't need to film a video on it and be like, I'm taking a break from this person and blah, blah, blah. Let me teach you how to do it. Like they even teach you in like social media marketing things. If you guys, and some of you guys have clocked it. I know I've clocked it when I worked in the hair salons. They literally would give out these social media like calendars, right? And you have to be posting this and you have to be posting that. And it's really big in like the like hair salon places where you have to post what's on your agenda, like what type of clients. And again, for the hair salons, it would be, I have two, balayages. I have an extension move up. I have a shampoo. I have a haircut, and I have a child's hair. Like they would list out everything that they were on their schedule for that day. For what? So you can tell people that you're really good at these things.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
I'm old school. Just be good at it.
Yeah. I look at that and I'm like, ugh. I'm already exhausted doing like all of my stuff. Like
I would look at it and say they don't have time for me.
Or like that's the other thing. Like I don't want, like I wouldn't go to that. I'm like, oh, you're busy. Like or maybe you're just exhausted by the time you get to a little kid's haircut after doing all those 77 things. And then also like posting, like you have to go drop off the kids and go do this and go do that. And it's like, I just watch You See Me Tomorrow post. Like I have 2 mediumship readings. Now I'll go and post this. Like, oh, another beautiful day with spirit and off to go teach some classes. I'm not going to list out how many mediumship readings I have to do, how many psychic readings, how many private mentoring, what time I wake up, what time I take the boys from daycare, what time I pick them up, how many, cans of formula I got to go get. Like, that's just exhausting. But you do have to create that narrative of main character for even clients these days. And I think that's just wild.
Yeah. Yeah. The hairstylist. I remember I had gotten into a multi-level marketing thing. I got in trouble every single day because I wouldn't post, look at me doing this, look at me doing that. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm using my product. You use your product, shop for yourself, shop for your own store. And I was just like, no, I'll just do the product. I'll do really good.
And let it speak for itself.
Let it speak for itself.
Yeah.
I hated it. And I just sucked at it.
Yeah.
I was good on the product.
But here's the thing. We are here to tell you guys, be authentic. Yeah. Just be authentic. That's the thing. Like I show up, I post my boys, I post, hey, we opened this grand opening. Obviously, we do the marketing emails, we do all that. But you don't see me in the marketing emails going, this is something that you lack in. This is something, and I'm going to be the main character in your story. If it works for you, if it works for you. If it speaks to you, then it speaks to you. I'd rather be authentic than salesy,
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do salesy. I can't. I just I can remember I'm gonna bitch a little.
Bitchy story
I had
time.
done it, and I'm not gonna mention names or anything, but I was on this weight loss product. I lost 150 pounds, and they told me I hadn't lost enough.
Oh my God. I would go straight to the donut shop. I'd be like,
did.
screw you.
I gained 60 of it back, or 80 of it
Yeah.
back.
But here's the thing that I want to say before we sign off for the night is maybe this next chapter isn't about becoming the main character anymore. All right. Maybe we're having this new wave about becoming real again and being present again and loving people deeply and connecting honestly and being authentic and remembering your worth was never supposed to be measured by how many people are watching you or how many likes you get or how many views you get. Because being deeply loved will always matter more than being widely seen. So I want you guys to remember that.
Yeah. Don't you think that main character thing really, really exploded during COVID, though?
Yeah.
That's when I said it was like kind of like a TikTok. Everybody was just that social
Sharing their
media was
story
their way
time
out, and they didn't do the fun things you and I did.
Yeah. We went to Target
We
and sat in the parking lot.
drank coffee.
Went to
Remember
wherever.
when we had to go through the trail of Target?
Uh-huh.
And
And
we're
then
like,
you
"This is
messed
dumb."
up when they're like, start over. And it was almost like we were playing, what is that, Candyland? And just beep, 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 beep. They literally had squares as if we were, and they were color coded. I was like, what in the Candyland is going on over here?
Yeah. But we made the best of it. We traveled. We went to Vegas.
Flights were cheap.
Flights were cheap. We lived.
Yeah. But we love you guys so much. And we hope you enjoyed tonight's main character energy topic. And remember, like, ask yourself, like, if you've done these things, it's okay. Grow from it. Like, we've done these things. Like, there's been moments where, like, oh no. But we're aware of it. And we grow from it and we learn from it. But the thing is, healing can happen. It doesn't have to be filmed. It doesn't have to be recorded. Quietly cry. When you're journaling, connect with your soul, connect with your heart, connect with your spirit guides, your departed loved ones. You don't need to film it. You don't need to, have a ring light, even though I have one on me right now because of my makeup. But you don't need to put that on camera and make it this whole look at me. And if you do, now I'm not saying don't share your story. Yes, absolutely share your story. Share it. And if you cry on camera, you cry on camera. But then don't obsess at how many views you got. Don't obsess how many likes and how many shares and how many whatever. And if they come, they come. And if they don't, they don't.
I've literally been with friends and they posted things like a night out. And then later on they'll be like, 72 people liked it. And I'm like, what? I'm still all, having a good time somewhere. I didn't give a shit who liked what.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay to share your story. Just don't obsess or become that main character energy because people want connection and they want authenticity and they want, again, that deeply, finding my community, finding my people, finding my purpose and finding my path and enjoying that with people, not needing someone to tell them how they're going to fix their life. All right. Alrighty, you guys, we love you so much. We will see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on Healing and Heals. And hopefully I'll see you guys at the shop at 805 Grand Boulevard at the Daniel Monroe Spirit Center in Vancouver, Washington, or maybe at a show or a live event or wherever spirit brings us together. All right, remember
shopping.
Or shopping. Remember to always love yourself and to be yourself and don't let anyone else tell you different. Okay. All right. Good night, you guys.
Bye-bye.